What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. Looking at Bitcoin Cash, it had quite the move, actually, not to the direction that I was expecting it to. Let's see. So I've got this fib drawn up. We'll come back to that in a second, but we actually had a nice day. Closed 4.58%. I know some of you guys are getting excited, but it was only 4.58%. Overall, it did go up 10%. But it closed 4.58% to the green. It came down 4.98%. So you know what I mean? Like it's pretty neutral in my opinion. And being in this range, we didn't close out of it. Though today, right now, we are out of it as I'm speaking. I've got this fib here that I was drawing up because I wanted to point out that we did tip off right at the 382, which is this previous area of support. We're now potentially finding resistance on it, which isn't a good thing to see. It's not encouraging. But what is encouraging, what's very encouraging to all my bull friends out there, shout out to the Dragon Riders, by the way, we closed this week. We just closed this week, you guys. We have 6 days, 21 hours left. We just closed this previous week, and what's crazy about that is now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in the overbought zone. The longest stint before this occasion right here was 3 weeks. So we have successfully doubled the previous record for being in the overbought zone for Bitcoin Cash on a weekly basis. It's pretty impressive. What's more impressive is that we came down to the lower limits of this area. Oops, I didn't mean to draw the line that low. We came to the lower limits, and it looks like we're bouncing off of it. With that green close, with the close that we had right now, where it looked like we were going to close out of it, this is what I was excited for. I thought that would mean that we're gonna have our down move here soon. We didn't get that. We actually, we got this bounce, which is something that I've kind of been stressing, worried about. This is the most bullish argument to make right now. We've got this bounce, and generally whenever you come down from the overbought zone, whenever you come down and test this limit here, even if you go a little bit below it and you bounce like in this area, whatever, that can promote very bullish moves in very short amount of times, or semi medium amount of time, whatever. But definitely a move that would take us above this high. And if we were to use our fib, taking the top to bottom here and kind of gauge where we could go, maybe you go up to 362, maybe you go up to $410. It's even possible with a small enough range like this that you could see deeper extensions into the $500 range or higher. This thing did move up 260%, 263% in 2 weeks. I don't think that we're going to see that kind of move after this. Generally with this kind of stuff, you do see a weaker move. It's still a strong move up, but you generally do see it takes more time, and it's not as steep of an incline up. That is kind of how it is, but it could be a really strong move. The only thing that's going against that, in my opinion, is this rejection off of the 382 at the moment. But it's not all bad, because you rejected the 382. You came down. Let's actually look at this. Let's see. Yeah, you rejected the 382. You actually found support on the 236. Sure, you're rolling over right now. You've got some bearish divergence forming on the 1 hour here. Right? You've got your highs here, higher highs here, lower highs here. That is bearish divergence, but it wouldn't take much to kind of see this bearish divergence come into fruition. All you'd have to do is come down to 253. Not even breaking 250, and this bearish divergence, I would say, is complete at that point in time. What you'd really not like to see, if you're bullish and you're for the bullish case, you would not like to see closes that are lower than these closes here. That's what you would not like to see. You wouldn't want to see a 1 hour close below 250. Price can go below 250, but you don't want to see a close below 250. On the 4 hour, we got 3 minutes left in this 4 hour, and in the hourly too. Sorry, I gotta get some water, guys. I keep losing my breath. I keep having to swallow. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I know I drank that water weird. My arm is really sore. I literally can't lift this thing with one arm, so I had to drink it weird. But enough of that. We could be having bearish divergence forming on the 1 hour right now, or on the 4 hour right now, and that that's nothing to be too concerned with. Comparable to the 1 hour, it's actually formed at the same prices, so I would say the same thing here. It wouldn't even have to move down below 250 to kind of fulfill this bearish divergence. So that's nothing to be too concerned with. It does look like you're finding support on the 236 area, and this kind of price action on the fib would suggest that if We haven't done it yet, but if you're bullish and you want to see some bullish price action, you want to break above this 382. And in fact, not just break above it, I would bet that if you come back up to it, you will break above it, and you'll probably go to your 618, which is right around 288. And will you do that fast, or will it take a day or two? Who knows? You know, it'll happen when it happens. But I would bet that if you make a move up to this 382 again, it's going to break. However, if you make a move below this 236, you reject this 382. You know, you made it down here, you went below the 236, so, you know, whatever. But that's okay. You didn't hit the 382 yet. If you hit the 382, and instead of finding support on this 236, you go below it, that to me would be rather condemning for the bulls and rather good for the bears, and suggest that we are in this overall kind of downtrend, and we are going to continue to make another lower low. After all, as exciting as this move is, in a series of lower highs, right? It's just lower highs. That wasn't the straightest line ever. Maybe not that right there. That's probably not the right anchor to use. Let's see, something like that, right? In a series of lower highs, the next move that one would predict would be a lower low. So there are conflicting things in the chart going on right now. I still do hold my bearish position. I know I've had a little bit of a bullish talk, but I do still hold my bearish position that we're going to go to 185, 135, somewhere in that range. I'm not too convinced by this. This very well could be a bull trap. It's completely possible. I actually want to see on the 1 hour. Let's do some shout out to the Dragon Riders. If I haven't said that already, man. Shout out to the Dragon Riders. Happy to ride with you guys. Let's see here. So top to bottom, topped off at the 2414. This is kind of a smaller range. Let's see if we can get a greater overall range on this thing. Maybe this one. Maybe this one here. Come on now. Right at the 1414. Isn't that crazy? You got the bigger range, the total like top to bottom of this price range here. You topped off at the 1414, but from this like little smaller range that was kind of your like spring before you sprung, right? This was your little wind up before you went up. You went to the 2414. That's kind of funny how that works, right? And maybe, I don't know, maybe if you were to take a fib over here even, let's see, from top to this bottom here, nothing. Okay, whatever, you know, and it doesn't really, I guess, yeah, you bounce off this 618 here. I don't know. It doesn't show a whole lot of respect. It kind of does, but not really. I like the other ones more, personally. I like this one a lot, and I like this one a lot, too. And at the moment, on this smaller fib, you are not finding support on the 1618. It looked like you were, but you're not, which is okay, whatever. You could come down to the 1272 again. That's around 252. That's totally fine. That doesn't put this bullish argument in jeopardy at all. What would put it in jeopardy, again, would be an hourly close below, I think it's like 250 and a half, 250.17 actually, 250.17, an hourly close below that would put it in jeopardy. A 4-hourly close below that would put it in jeopardy as well. And the reason for that is, you know, you broke, it looks like on these shorter time frames, not on the daily, not yet, that you've broken out of this range, right? But on the daily, I say not yet because you didn't close like out of this range. Yes, you have a higher daily close, but you didn't close out of this range. You had a wick that went out of it, but I would say if this day closes here, then yes, you have a confirmed break out of this range. But again, if you were to close below this line on a 4-hour or a 1 hour, that would mean that you kind of had a fake out. You went up and then you came down. You had a fake out of this range. And that would not be encouraging to see if you're bullish. Pair that with the fact that there is 4-hourly bearish divergence, 1-hourly bearish divergence, and we have this rejection off the 382 coming from top to bottom here, rejecting that. If you were to close below this white line, you're also going to close consequently below the 236, which would also be, in my opinion, condemning that you will see a move based off of this overall extension that we just formed from low to high, and that could take you down to 223 or 212 or lower just as fast as the the bullish side. Where's my why isn't it on here? I don't know. There it is. Just as fast as the bullish move could from like here, you know, like talking about going up to 362 or 410 or 500, whatever. And these are a lot bigger numbers to the upside. You know, this is a bigger range to use, but overall, you know, we're precariously placed right now. And there's a couple things that need to happen if you want to see it go up. There's a couple of things that need to happen if you want to go down. There are some good arguments for why it could go down, and there's some pretty strong arguments for why it could go up as well. The strongest being this bounce on the weekly. At least that's what it looks like now, is a bounce off the weekly. Because again, if we were to zoom it in here, zoom it, let's see. You can see where the weeks kind of are based on this like dotted line, right? Here it is. Here was the end of this week, and now we're in this week here. So this right here, just even if you ignored this part to the right of this dashed line, to the right of that, if you ignore that RSI, you can see that you have a nice slope up here. So you are kind of bouncing off of this. Could this week come down and close below and have us close into out of overbought zones and then ultimately be bearish? It's possible, but this right now looks really, really good. This is probably the strongest argument for the bulls in my opinion. And what you'd want to see, I gave the area that you want to break out if you're bearish that you'd want to see, or that I would want to see too, right? Because I am bearish. But if you're bullish, the area that you'd want to see is you want to get up to this 265 area. And I would honestly bet, guys, that you don't even need, I mean, you would like to see a close above this area, sure, but I would bet that the next time you come up to this area, you are going to break it. I really would. It's not common that you bounce off the 382 twice like this, especially whenever you come from the 382 all the way back down to the 236, you come up to it again, I very much would expect that you'd break it and go up to the 618. Between 288 and 295, that would happen probably really fast within the next day. So today is going to be rather telling one way or another, unless we just keep moving sideways. But I have a feeling that that's not going to be in the cards. This is the beginning of the new week. We're coming to the end of this month. We only have 1 day left. So, you know, could this day, we're down 15%, could this day be a bullish day? We close like 10% in the green, 5% in the green, and we have like a bigger wick to the downside than we do a body, and this ultimately be a bullish kind of looking close? That would be really good to see. If you want price to go higher, that'd be really good to see. And if something like that happened, I would be pretty inclined to buy. Because on top of that, this weekly, man, this weekly RSI looking like this, it's really really tempting, that's for sure. But I'm keeping my emotions in check, playing it cool, trying to play it cool, you know, and just using the best of my abilities to kind of determine what the right move is. And right now I still do think that the right move is to just be patient and wait. I would much rather buy up like $20, $30 higher than the current price than I would here and then watch it drop. So that's kind of my plan. I don't know what else to say, you guys. I did not expect the week to close bullish like it did. I did not expect to not close out of the overbought zone. I thought that we were in the overbought zone. I thought that we would close out of it. And we just didn't do that, man. It's crazy. We have 6 weeks now. We've never done more than 3, and the first time that we've done it, we actually doubled that, so that's crazy. And yes, we might be overdue for some downside ultimately, but bouncing, I'm telling you, man, bouncing off of the weekly RSI like this, it's going to be a second before we see some downtime, if this is the real deal. So again, stuff to watch for. If you're bullish, you want to break above the 382. Or that's basically it. You want to get above the 382. So get above, make another high here. Get above this high. If you're bearish, you want to see, and it requires a little less time, but you'd want to see a 4-hour close or an hourly close below 250.17. Stuff like that. That's what I got for you guys. So if you liked the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.